Hey, what's up, comic book fans? Welcome back to Comic Book Corner. And guys, it's me, Mike Spiderslayer, bringing you, that's right, comic book review. Guys, this week's comic book review has to do with, bam, Superior Spider-Man issue number 5. That's right, guys. If you guys watched my countdown video, this was my #1 comic of the week. A lot of people have been dogging Superior Spider-Man, saying that's repetitive, that Peter Parker would never do this, they're just changing his life, they brought him super up and they're bringing him down, and how's he gonna, it's a predictable book, and so there's a lot of people out there that just don't like it, and I totally understand it, and I agree it is repetitive at some points, but this issue was not repetitive. This was something completely different, and something that you have never seen Spider-Man ever do, ever, period. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a walkthrough on this book, so will be spoilers in case you haven't seen it, but I really want to see your guys' reactions to this issue, okay, and where you stand on this series right now. In this particular issue, we had that burger joint get shot up. The CEO is all over on the news, and she's just like, the stocks are plummeting, everything's going down. She's like, we need to do something. All of a sudden, tap tap on the little shoulder, she gets a visit from our pal Massacre. And he's just saying that, if you pay me $12 million, I can have the competitor all over the TV just shooting up people around the town just for fun. The guy has no emotions. He's a sick individual. But he puts on the shirt. It says Mocha-Cola on there. And Mocha-Cola is the same Marvel emblem or logo from the 90s, if you haven't noticed that. So that was pretty neat there. So Superior Spider-Man basically is teaming up with one of his buddies from the think tank, and he's creating this these cameras that can receive data from all over the city that can match people from everywhere, so he can find Massacre. It's just an easier way to find the bad guys. And Peter obviously doesn't agree with this situation. He just is, he's like, it's not right. He's like, what are you doing? You're killing my reputation. He's like, what are you doing? You got to find the bad guys. Where are you going? He's always in his ear. He's always trying to give Otto, his advice, but it's just not getting through. And I don't know when Peter's just going to get it. Okay? And he meets up with this girl, which was actually a touching, for me, a little bit of a touching softer side for Otto, meeting up with Anna Maria, this tutor for his college class, so he can pass this class. And he winds up developing this relationship with her, which is pretty weird, but I guess they're students, so intellectually, they get along with each other, which was pretty cool. So, as Otto actually leaves Anna Maria's house, he actually gets the call that Massacre has been spotted. Massacre is in this building. He set up hostages in this building. Very predictable, for Otto. He's like, oh, I know everything that he does, and he finds hostages in this warehouse building. He takes off the dynamite and things like that. And the next thing you see is that Massacre's in the building, and he has people hostage, and Spider-Man's nowhere to be found yet. J. Jonah's like, damn you, Spider-Man, you said you'd have it under control. Next thing you see is you got Massacre just blowing up people. Now this is like a really touchy book for a lot of people, I think. There's been a lot of killings, a lot of massacres going on with the Batman movie and the school shooting with the young kids and just everything that's going on. And so this book is for me, I think it's a really risky book, to do a topic like this. But this is, again, in today's reality, stuff like this actually happens. So going back to the issue, Massacre shooting up people left and right, Spider-Man just dodging things, and people are just getting hit. And Otto's just like, he's like, people are getting around me. I need to focus. I'm not focusing. And he's like, only one thing matters here, taking this lunatic out. And he sits there and he punches him in the jaw, and he knocks him on the ground. And The next thing you see is Massacre's like, enough, and he has the detonator in his hand. He's going to shoot. He's going to, ignite the warehouse that had the other hostages in there, and Spider-Man, Otto Spider-Man, is just sitting there going, he's like, wrong, your plans failed. I freed those hostages. And the next thing you see is Otto pick up the gun. And you're like, what? He has a gun in his hand? This is something you have never seen. This goes against all of Spider-Man's ethics. This is the worst thing that could happen. I mean, his Uncle Ben, obviously we all know, got shot and killed by a burglar. So this is against the ethic code of Spider-Man. This is the worst thing that could ever happen. Next thing you see is Spider-Man uses a gun and shoots him right in the shoulder. And you're like, oh, damn. At this point, I'm like, no way is this going to happen. Thought he's going to tie him up and let him go. He's going to hear that little voice like he heard in issue 1. And this is a part where you feel it in the issue, where you feel like it's a movie, where someone's suffering, bleeding, reaching for the gun, trying at all costs to survive. You see Otto step on his hand, the gun just crashes, and he points the gun in his head, and you're just like, oh my God, it's at point blank range. He's like, there's no way that they're going to do this. Peter's talking to him. He's like, don't do it, Ock. He goes, and then Ock is like, but there's finality in this. He's like, it would solve everything. He goes, what am I going to do? Just let him go? And then he's going to do the same thing over again, escape prison, and he just keeps the gun to his head. And people are just saying, do it. He's like, do it. This old guy's like, do it, Spider-Man, do it. And then all of a sudden, the first time you ever see any kind of emotion from Massacre was right now, was right here. He's actually crying. He's actually scared for the first time in so long. He's scared. And Peter's just saying, see, he can be cured. Something's happening. Something's being triggered in him. He goes, there's always another chance. Don't do it. And the next thing you see is he points the trigger and he shoots him. And according to the news and J. Jonah, the character has been neutralized, which means that he's been killed. And it seems like everyone's okay with it. They've never seen Spider-Man use a gun before. Holy crap. The CEO of this burger company is just like, well, at least the news is all off of me. And this is a typical ending to another movie, I thought. Spider-Bots just tracing down the wall in the background. And the next thing you see is that they go up to her and she's like, ah! And she starts freaking out. And then Spider-Man's just like, I'm watching from everywhere. He's like, you can't get away with anything. So he's just like, he says in the end, he goes, your secret bank account paying a twisted man to do twisted things? I'm familiar with this practice. He goes, you paid him your blood money. You sat back and watched him, and you told no one. Well, now you can tell the authorities. Tell them or answer to me. I see everything in the city, everything, and that is my power and my responsibility to watch over and judge you all. He's got this power trip now. He is freaking out. He has totally lost it, man. Totally lost it. So, I was speechless at the end. The only thing I can think of is, what do you guys think of this situation with Otto having a gun and actually shooting people? Because he even said that he doesn't resort to firearms. It's beneath him. And also, at this particular point in the series, wouldn't you rather have seen Peter come out for the first time in this particular issue after he either killed Massacre or right before or right here, where you see, oh my God, Peter is not dead? I think I would have rather seen that than in the first issue, or not have Peter at all. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Not have Peter at all in this entire issue and seeing Otto actually do this without Peter? So that's what I was judging. I was like, man, it would have been a lot better if either Peter was not in this entire issue at all, or you just saw him for one panel at the end of this issue. just going back saying, oh my God, Peter's still alive at this point, or still within spirits. That's where I would have rather seen him in, and that's my point of view. So in the end, I'm giving the book a 5 out of 5 stars. It was a great book, a great read, something totally different, and it goes against Spider-Man's ethics. And how is this going to change Spider-Man forever? I don't know. We'll find out. Spider-Man's going to try to get his body back. There's Green Goblin coming along. There's going to be some interesting stuff to tell. It's the best issue of Superior Spider-Man, I thought. And, I mean, we had a death in here of somebody, and that was Massacre. You don't see deaths of villains in Spider-Man hardly ever. So, guys, tell me your thoughts of this comic, and if you enjoyed it as much as I did, and do you think this comic sucks? And if it sucks, well, you're entitled to your opinion, just like I'm entitled to my opinion. So, guys, I hope you did enjoy this review, and this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and thanks for watching Comic Book Corner. Take care, everyone. I'll see you real soon. Bye.